one of my recent coaching clients told me that really the reason he engaged with me is because he was looking for a copy chief in the context of a team that had plenty of copywriters on staff, but that really didn't have a copy chief dedicated to his success. And it got me thinking about that role of a copy chief and how I played it for him and how I've played it multiple times over. And it got me thinking about you and how you may not know exactly what a copy chief is and how important it can be, and how to figure out like if it's something even that's relevant for you. So really quickly, a little bit of my background here. When I got into copywriting as a freelance copywriter, it was, I was maybe about 12 to 18 months in my business full time as a copywriter when my primary client at the time asked me to step up and kind of fill this interim copy chief role. So I very quickly got thrust into the spotlight of at this publisher being like the primary voice who was asked to ask every copywriter on the team to raise their game and to help every copywriter on the team write better copy. And it's something that has ended up happening to me over and over again since then, that, I'll work with coaching clients and I will kind of fill in as a on-call copy chief for individual projects for them. I've worked with my own clients and actually I managed copywriters, brought copywriters on at various points and helped those copywriters write better copy. And in addition to the coaching clients, I've had copywriters who've basically hired me as the coach to be their copy chief and to fill that role for them when they weren't necessarily getting that through their clients or through their employer. So what is the role of a copy chief? Well, when it comes down to it, most of the time what the copy chief is doing is they are helping the copywriter move a project forward. And so at some points that can be brainstorming on what's the angle, what's the positioning, what's the big idea, what's the structure of this, how do we present the offer, and so on. Just like all the thinking that goes into great copywriting. And I've said it over and over again that if you don't get that thinking right before you really start to write the copy itself, the copy is going to be not nearly as strong as it could be. So they're there to help the project really gel at the beginning. They are also there to actually do copy reviews and copy critiques and to look over the copy once it's written, once it's in draft form, and say, oh, this is an opportunity to improve this. Oh, if we move this around here, you can completely delete this section. This is your lead. This is the most compelling thing. What if we approach this in this way? Like there's 1,000 different things, all the way down to I often end up calling out copywriters on something that I learned from one of my mentors called negative thought packets. And that is these little tiny things that show up in your writing that plant a seed of doubt, that lead to some kind of unaddressed objection that's not big enough for the prospect to just drop it there, but that the more of these that show up in your copy, the more that your prospect won't even know why they're no longer interested. But at some point, they'll just bug out. They'll just be gone. And so the role of a copy chief is to look for everything from like the big concepts that you need to nail down to the little tiny things that are showing up in your writing that may be harming response. And then to make specific suggestions. But beyond just making those specific suggestions for like, oh, improve this line of copy, a good copy chief is going to be focused on learning and improvement. Now, I don't come at this from like the classic, the role of the copy chief is to just mark this up with red pen and throw it in your face and say, get better, right? Like that's not me. I always approach from the perspective of, hey, I am here. I take it as a sacred responsibility to you to help you be the best that you can be. And so I will say, like, oh, this is what's going on here. Here's what, here's the change that I recommend, and here's why. Like, here's the principle or strategy behind why I would flip this, why I would change this. And what happens then is that, you know, every single suggestion becomes an opportunity for you to get better. And it's not just like this you know, I improve this one thing, I improve this one piece of copy. It's that you start to develop a set of practices and learnings and a knowledge base that helps you become a better copywriter. And that continues to pay off for life. In fact, I have one client that I'm thinking of where the two people on their team that write a bunch of copy for the business, they often go back and forth and say, "Oh, Roy would say this about this copy," and so they're applying that knowledge to make each other better copywriters all the time, even outside of the specific reviewing that I do with them. So that's the main role of a copy chief, is to move the actual creative, the copy forward, everything from the idea stage to putting the finishing touches on a promotion before it goes out. So what's the impact of this? Well, a good copy chief will help every piece of copy that crosses their desk be better. It will be, you know, more clear, more concise, more compelling. It will grab the prospect's attention better. It will hold their interest. It will stimulate desire better, and it will get more prospects to take action in the form of more leads, more customers, more sales, more profits. So they'll make the copy better. The other thing that a good copy chief will do is they'll ask questions about strategy. They will kind of zoom out and say, where does this copy fit? Where does this copy fit inside of, you know, this particular funnel or this particular campaign or this particular, like, if it shows up in media, how does this copy fit inside this media? And they will help identify opportunities to implement better strategy, not just the words on the page, because the words on the page are a fraction of what actually is creating the success. And then importantly, the impact of a good copy chief is to make you a better copywriter and a better marketer. So whether it's, you know, for your business or because you're a copywriter or whatever, their impact will be felt through time, even many, many years beyond when you stop working with them. For example, that negative thought packets thing that I mentioned, that was from a copy chief that I worked with. Let's see, it was 2012 or so. And it was a few small conversations about my copy, but it really stuck with me. And it was a lesson that jumped out that to me continues to pay off. And so it's even like one little lesson, one little comment can have a long-term positive impact on your ability to create more effective marketing. So who needs a copy chief? Well, inside of a business, inside a big direct response business, oftentimes there are copy chiefs available for the individual copywriters, and individual copywriters do really benefit from having a copy chief. And so that's why some copywriters have certainly hired me to be their coach slash copy chief for an extended period of time, to just help them up their game in terms of the quality of copy that they are turning in either to clients or to their employers. Small entrepreneurs, if you are involved with writing copy for your own business, you absolutely would benefit from having a copy chief, having somebody that you can send your copy to and have them give you feedback, and have it not be like, oh, I need to hire another employee for this, but somebody on the outside who can give you that external perspective, who can give you that fresh look into what you need to be doing with your copy. And that's why, like, top marketers have absolutely turned to me to be their copy chief, and regularly turn to me to review their copy, because even though they are great at what they do, and I respect them immensely as copywriters, it always helps to have somebody that you can trust to send that copy to who is not like in the thick of the project. And oftentimes just my outside perspective, seeing it fresh, seeing it with brand new eyes, being able to put myself in the mind of the prospect and reviewing the copy for them from that perspective gives them this insight that they can never get internally from just the process of writing their own copy. And these small, more entrepreneurial business owners who are involved in the creation of their copy, they get that benefit without having to like have a copywriting staff and a copy chief on staff and all of that. Now, in bigger businesses, bigger copywriting teams, whether it's like a direct response business or an agency or whatever, having somebody that you can call on, sometimes this becomes an internalized role. And so, for example, when I was that interim copy chief for that publisher that I was working with, it was an internalized role because they'd kind of brought me on in an exclusive arrangement for a while. And so they had internalized the role of the copy chief. But the other thing is, like, not all businesses have access to a ton of copy chief talent. And a lot of good copywriters, they'll spend most of their time writing their own copy and don't necessarily foster that within junior copywriters. And, as copywriters, we can sometimes have pretty big egos about that and not want to deal with trying to help junior copywriters improve. And sometimes it takes like a special disposition to be willing to engage with that. And so bigger teams absolutely can benefit from finding somebody to fill that role who's not just like a senior copywriter who has to spend the time with a junior copywriter to make that happen. And so hopefully, through this video, through this, hopefully not too rambling of a series of points on how a copy chief can contribute to a copywriter, to a marketer, to a business. I hope that you've gotten a better sense of what that role is, what impact that it can have on the copywriting, on the marketing, on the business, and who might benefit from having a copy chief. And I will say that I'll include a link with this video. I do offer on a very limited basis, I do offer coaching, which can absolutely turn into kind of a copy chief arrangement. And you can check out my availability at the link with this video as far as if you are interested in exploring, just having an exploratory conversation around whether or not bringing me in as a coach, as a copy chief can be a good fit for you. Absolutely. You can check that out at the link in the description. I will say that, whether or not it feels appropriate for me to be a copy chief for you, I would like to know how much value you got out of this video. So leave a comment below. Let me know on a scale of 1 to 10, how much value you got and why. Like, what new perspectives did it give you on that copy chief role? Also, click that like button before you go so you get more content like this delivered to you. And so the magical algorithms of the internet know to share it with more people like you who would find it valuable. If you know somebody in your life who is involved with copywriting and marketing and who might benefit from having this kind of understanding of what a copy chief is and the opportunity that they create for the marketer, for the business, you can certainly share it with them directly. And if you're not yet subscribed, follow me here. Also go to breakthroughmarketingsecrets.com, sign up for my daily emails. You'll get my videos and other content delivered to you, including exclusive content that only goes to email subscribers. Again, the links are in the description for you to check these things out. My name is Roy Furr. This has been a video issue of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. And if you would like to talk to me about coaching or being a copy chief for you, your team, your business, I look forward to speaking with you there. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you again in your next video. I hope you have gotten a 10 out of 10 value. That's what I always aim for. And I'll see you again in that next video. See you soon. Bye.